Hey, I'm Colin. I'm gonna take you through a day in the life of a PA.
It's the PA perspective, man.
Hi, Ben.
Yo, are you rolling?
Yes, I think so.
Hello.
Pictures up. Rolling.
Rolling, rolling, rolling. PAs do a lot of things. We set up chairs and tables and tents, and we get people waters. Waters, guys? A lot of random things, the things that you sort of would never think of. You never really know what to expect.
And rehearsals up.
Rehearsals up!
One thing that's great about being a PA too is you kind of get to work with all the different departments. I mean, in one take you can be wrangling cords for the camera department as they dolly, you know, so you're holding it up so the dolly wheels don't roll over the cord. And then in the very next take, you're helping to set up bottles for the art department, you know, all these breakaway bottles and resetting all that and making sure it's okay and they're all in the right places. So, you know, you get a glimpse into all these different departments, which is the benefit of being a PA. My name is Colin West McDonald, and on RocketJump the show, I was a production assistant.
Cut.
That's a cut!
When you go to a shoot, you're either going to be working on location or like on a set. And so Tip Jar was actually on a set. It was Riverfront Stages in Glendale. And essentially what it was a bar set, you know, with just sort of fake flat walls around it. And then beyond that set was like a big sort of warehouse building. And so as a PA, we were often right between that threshold of being on set and just being off set.
Yeah, art department, can we lose the cash register from the bar? Copy that.
Hang on 1 second. Can you this off this table here? I'm gonna put the cash register on this table.
Copy. As a PA, the assistant director is your boss. And often there's 2 or even 3 assistant directors, a first and a second. The assistant director is standing usually right next to the director, trying to organize the whole day's shoot. So oftentimes the AD will get on the walkie-talkie and say, hey, PA Nation, you know, we need...
Can I have James and 2 additional background to set, please?
And that sort of sends out a web to all the production assistants who go and kind of try to make that happen as soon as they can. If the AD calls and they need something you don't have, try to find it and try to find it quick, and if you can't find it quick, let them know, because otherwise they think you're gonna be doing it. And if you can't figure out how to do it quickly, then tell them, because the worst thing is that you don't tell them, and then when they need the thing 10 minutes later, they don't have it, and they ask you, and you're like, I didn't get, and then it's like the whole production has to stop, and that is like the worst. Nobody on set ever wants to be the reason why the camera's not rolling.
Go for Colin.
There's this whole thing happening on the walkie-talkies that most people in production don't even know is going on.
Copy that. On it. I gotta go get the walkies going.
As far as communication goes, like on the walkies, you always have to be present. That's another big thing PAs like have to do. I mean, if you want to get called back for another job, you have to be present on the walkie-talkie. You have to say, copy that, I got you. And often it's back and forth, so it's like you really need to communicate, yes, we got the answer to that.
Go for Colin.
Can you get us a few rolls of paper towels?
Yep, I'm on my way.
So the one thing that you definitely do not want to do on the walkie-talkies is not respond. So the one situation where you would think, oh, I can't respond would be in the bathroom. But if you're going to the bathroom, what you need to do is get on the walkie-talkie and say, I'm going 10-1.
10-1 currently.
And everybody does that, and that's sort of a respectful thing. Never say, I'm gonna go pee, or I'm never gonna go, don't do that. But 10-1 is the kind of code for that. And that sort of signifies, hey, I'm gonna be off walkie-talkie for like the next 2 minutes. So oftentimes on RocketJump the show, Freddie would just disappear.
Who has eyes on Freddie? Freddie Wong?
Anybody got eyes on Freddie? That was like a common thing.
Seen Freddie?
I haven't. I'm looking for him.
No eyes on Freddie? Not on set.
That happens all the time because not everybody's on the walkie-talkie. In fact, very few people on set are on the walkie-talkie.
Freddie is 10-1.
Did you get that? He's 10-1.
All the PAs are usually spread out throughout the set, but you are the eyes of the set. You're the collective sort of eye of the set. So if they need somebody, you need to find them and get them to where they need to be because they don't know they're needed.
Oh, she's still on walkie.
He's not on walkie.
Searching.
If anybody's near him, they can just ask him if he still needs me.
Hey, Osh. Channel 1, Andrew's calling you. Osh is gonna talk to you in a second.
So hot bricks, that's a big term that goes around.
Part of the job as PA is you gotta carry hot bricks, aka fresh batteries, for the walkies. So whenever somebody wants one, we have to be there to give it to them. Easy enough.
Put us some hot bricks.
Yeah. How many do you need?
Just 2 should do.
All right. Now. All right. Perfect timing.
Those are oftentimes needed on set. A lot of the camera folks always have, and the G&E guys always have their walkie-talkies, but they don't have time to go get a battery, so you need to be there on set to hand them one. And you'll end up getting handed back a cold brick, in which case you take that cold brick to the charging station, which is usually at the trailers or at the production office, and get that charging. Try to think ahead, think of like what people will need, and start doing it before somebody asks you to do it. You know, you always need to be there, so if somebody says, oh, I need a Sharpie, you can just there, you know, and that's what gets you your next job. Being on your game, being present and listening, you know, I think is important. So one of the main responsibilities of the PA is to keep the set clean. So a lot of people leave a lot of water bottles around, and a lot of times they don't put their names on them, so you have to kind of pitch them, and especially if you're doing a company move, you know, there's a lot of cleanup that needs to happen, and, you know, crafty food bags, trash, all that kind of stuff is the responsibility of the PA to get that stuff out to the dumpster before the end of the day.
What else do I do? Lock up, tell people to be quiet when we're shooting, even though it's a silent film.
We're about to go for a picture. Let's lock it up.
So a lockup is basically keeping everybody on set quiet and letting them know that we're about to go for a take.
Okay, we're gonna go on this one.
So PAs are often called to do lockups. People will try to go onto set while you're rolling, and that's not a good thing. So you'll have to stop them from going on set.
We're about to go for real, man. I said we're about to go for real, so we're not allowed on set unless you need to be on there.
Okay, guys, pictures up inside. Let's lock it up.
We're about to start shooting inside, guys.
Pictures up.
Pictures up.
And then the AD will call over the walkie, rolling.
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
And so then all the PAs within the next 5 seconds all have to say,
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
Rolling!
Rolling!
so everybody on set knows that we're rolling, which means everybody needs to stop moving, be quiet, no footsteps, all that kind of stuff. And even during a take, if you're doing a really long take, you need to tell people, don't walk, you know, and try to be as quiet as you can. It's all a sound thing, frankly. It's all for the sound guy.
Sound speeds.
Camera speeds. 2. Awesome. Take 2. Mark.
I mean, it can happen where the PA can really kind of screw up a take. You know, if you call cut early, or you assume that they've cut because that's where they usually cut.
Still rolling.
Everybody's gonna start making noise, and then you've ruined that take, you know? So the chain of command there is the director will say cut, the AD will get on his walkie and say cut,
Great. Nice. That was awesome.
Cut.
and then all the PAs will then relay that information to everybody else on set saying, cut, and that's a cut.
It's a cut.
That's a cut.
And then people can go back to doing what they're doing.
Big points coming in.
Points.
Between takes, you run on set and help out what needs to be done, and then when they're going for a take, you run off set and keep everybody quiet.
Once they roll, you're not really doing much. But it's really more like in the setup and breakdown that you've got a lot to do. So.
Lunch, guys. That's lunch.
That's lunch. We gotta get everybody lunch so that lunch ends earlier, basically, so that we can get back to work. The PAs have to go around to all the corners of the set and figure out if there's anybody left in there and get them in line as soon as they can, because the last man to go through the lunch line is what they call it, the last man. That's when last lunch is called. So then you have 30 minutes from there. That's your lunch break. So it's that last person. It's not the first person. It's not when you call lunch. It's that last person to get their lunch. That's when the half an hour starts, so that everybody gets an actual half an hour lunch.
Hey guys, that's last man, 112, back at 142.
We don't even count.
We're not included in the time in, time out lunch.
They say last man, and then we get lunch.
And then we eat.
So,
PAs somehow aren't even considered human in the lunch line. And actually, the lunch is sort of called before you actually get in line. It's okay, like you're used to it, but you're the last one to eat.
but that's okay. It's all good. It's never like a huge deal, but we do have to wait another 5 minutes. Oh, well, thank you.
Do not go through the lunch line first. Oftentimes you're there to help set up lunch, so you're setting up the tables and chairs, so right when they call lunch, you're right next to the food, so you may as well eat. Well, don't do that. So if you want called back, wait and eat last. And I know it seems hard to do, but it's not a big deal, and you just do it. If you're getting really tired or you're feeling faint or you're not drinking water, take the time to do it. And that's the reason why there's 4 or 5 PAs on every shoot, because you guys can kind of pick up slack from each other and give each other sort of breaks. It's important that if you see something on set that's unsafe or something that's going wrong, or people doing something they're not supposed to be doing, let somebody know, and don't be afraid to do that. I mean, I know being on the bottom of the totem pole isn't necessarily a place where you think that your voice matters, but In those kind of situations, like, it really does. And that's why you're there. Like, you're a set of eyeballs for the AD. And so go tell them something's happening. Whether you think it's important or not, just let them know. And it may not be. They may just blow it off like it's nothing, or they may say, okay, I gotta go look at this right now.
Yeah, basically, that's it, I guess.
All right, guys, it's a picture wrap.
Hey, Freddie. Yeah, thank you. It was really fun.
Great work, dude.
Hey, thanks, Clint. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, dude. It was really good. Hey, Kevin.
Oh, hey Colin, what was with the GoPro?
That's a picture wrap, guy.
When they call wrap, I'm going to kind of on trash duty, getting up trash. I'll sweep all the floors. The wrap outs, there's always a lot to do.
Frankly, the last people on set are the PAs cleaning up, and that's a big part of the job. It may not be glamorous, but it's definitely part of it, and it's worth it, because the whole first 12 hours of the day you're on set and you're learning all these things, and then, yeah, sure, you have to spend an hour at the end cleaning up, but that's what you do, and it's okay.
After the wrap, everything's gone downhill, so if you're still recording, you may as well cut it off now.
Nobody's end goal is to be a PA. Everybody who's a PA is also a director, also a writer, also a cinematographer. They're just sort of new to it and they're trying to figure it out. Even I don't PA anymore. And the RocketJump show taught me enough that I have moved on and I'm ADing and I'm doing these other things. I'm writing, I'm directing. And so it sort of leads into all that. And that's definitely the best part. That's an opportunity to go learn what you want. And again, stay out of the way, but listen.
Pictures up.
Pictures up!
Rolling.
And we're rolling.
PA is where you need to start, where everybody does start. And so there's no shame in being a PA because it leads to everything else.
Cut.
That's a cut.